You are now entering Nyghtstorm Nation.
All I have to say is this.
Child abuse.
If you are one of those people
Divorce.
that have been put down all of your life,
Infidelity.
beat up and trapped in a pit of woe,
Depression.
it is time for you to stand up with the Nyghtstorm Nation, because we aren't going anywhere.
I'm YG Nyghtstorm, the man not afraid to be transparent, as I help real people with real issues. And my co-host is my queen. Come on.
Hi, everyone. Good morning, ATL. This is George Nyghtstorm, the woman not afraid to tell the truth about how things really are. And this is Nyghtstorm Radio. Radio's on real because we are you.
Yeah, now Nyghtstorm Nation, if you hear a difference, the queen is on location handling things for our children, because you know school finna start. But if you want to call in and you're in the ATL, call in at 443-558-699. And to all the Nyghtstorm Nation members around the country, call in at 1-866-923-2860. Now, you can also find out more about us, the Nyghtstorms, at Nyghtstorm.com. That's NYGHTSTORM.com. You can also listen to our show on the Talk Radio page on Love860.com. Ain't that right, baby?
That is absolutely right. And all you smartphone owners out there, I tell you every week, I'm going to remind you again, don't forget to go to your app store and download iHeartRadio, Tunein Radio, or iRadionow. Go to the Talk Radio section and find WAEC Love 860 so you can take us everywhere you are from 11 to noon.
That's right, that's right. So, baby, you're
Yes.
out there handling things for the prince because he's starting a different high school and everything. You all right out there? My queen okay out there?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine. Got to turn down all our radios so we don't get interference and make sure that we can hear clearly.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all gravy out here.
Okay, so, baby, hey,
Yeah. Hey.
what's on tap for the day, girl?
Well, today is going to be deep. You know, we always like to get to in these real life issues of what's going on in the world because you never know who you can help. So we're going to start things off, of course, with our Nyghtstorm letter that you're going to read in a moment, and we're going to be exploring the disturbing things that parents are allowing their kids to do. They're standing around and watching them do things that can't be beneficial for them, but just to be involved, they're, observing without interceding.
Yeah, man, and we got a lot of this stuff coming up, and we also going to be dealing, since NFL season is back, fellas, the Ray Rice situation is back in the news, okay? And he can't get away from it. The Baltimore Ravens can't get away from it, but we are going to be talking about the dynamic between his situation, talking about violent men and violent women, and also we're going to get into a little bit of why some of these spoiled brats out here are controlling their children. Ain't that something, baby?
Well, I think you should get to this Nyghtstorm letter and let it go.
Okay. And here we go. Now, Nyghtstorm Nation, we always start off with the Nyghtstorm letter. And if you want to send us a Nyghtstorm letter, just email us at the Nyghtstorms, Nyghtstorms with an S, at Nyghtstorm.com. And if your letter fit the topic, we will read it on the air and address the issue. So, Nyghtstorm letter number 1. And it says, Dear Nyghtstorms, I'm 16 years old, and I don't know if you are aware of this, but there is this stupid game on Facebook that a lot of my peers are doing. It's called the Fire Challenge, and it starts with someone standing in a bathtub, then they pour on some kind of flammable liquid like alcohol all over their body, and then they light themselves on fire. I know that I'm not perfect, but I got more sense than this. The bad part about all of this is that some of these people's parents are standing right there and watching this madness. So I have 3 questions for you guys. 1, is it just me, or am I the only young person that sees the stupidity of these Facebook challenges? Number 2, Why are these parents always telling us to be responsible, but are right there encouraging this bad behavior? That sounds hypocritical. And number 3, I'm not trying to be funny, but back in the day when you were a teenager, Mr. Nyghtstorm, way last century, were you guys as dumb as my generation? We had to get it from somewhere. Laugh out loud. Okay, you being funny, Mr. Tyson from Brooklyn.
Of course he has to be. Of course he does.
Hey, I ain't old. I don't care what y'all say. I ain't old.
Yeah, last century. Wow. All right. I'm going to say that applies to you.
Okay, so what do you think about that? We're going to tackle his 3 questions in a minute, but sweetheart, what you think about this fire challenge?
Well, I hadn't heard anything about the fire challenge. Of course, once you read the letter, you had to go looking around for it and find exactly what he was talking about. Mm-hmm. And the video was disturbing, and I didn't understand why in this particular video a parent was involved in the filming and watching it happen. So I have a lot of questions myself about this. 1, why would you want to light yourself on fire? Mm-hmm. 2, why would you want to use an accelerant to make sure you're on fire?
Right.
You know, I was taught stop, and roll. So why are we now pouring it on ourselves and igniting? I don't understand. That's a lot of boredom. Uh-huh. And 3, as a parent, she was dancing in the mirror, waiting on my child to light himself on fire. It's like, where's the relationship going with this? Is this a parental relationship, or as they say, the people that want to be friends with their kids? Right. Where's the borderline?
Right. And if you're wondering, Nyghtstorm Nation, about this, there's a video on Facebook, and we have it on Nyghtstorm Radio Facebook page, and it's called The Fire Challenge, and you will see this young man standing in a bathtub. Got
water in it.
Yeah, got water in the bathtub, okay? And then he pours alcohol all over his body. He has no shirt on. He just in some shorts all over his body. Mama gives him a lighter, and he lights himself on fire. And the fire engulfs him quickly. He jumps out the bathtub, run all the way in the living room, and the mama like, get back in the water, get back in the water, get back in the water. But he don't make it back to the bathroom, and he got to get the fire out. And it's crazy. And it's stuff like...
He totally panics.
Yeah.
He panics. When he ignites, he panics, and he hops out of the water. The whole purpose of him standing in the water, as soon as he lights up, was for him to lay down in the water and put it out.
Right.
But his mind went blank, and he just instinctively takes off running. And we all know, well, I will hope, most of us would know what oxygen does to fire, especially when you're running around, standing in the flame.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know something? It's good that we old people from the last century got some common sense and we talk about these things, but it's always refreshing when we can have other experts on. Am I right, my queen?
Yeah, we're talking to young people again like we did on our last show, so talking about young people, so it's time we talk to one to get their perspective on it, don't you think?
I know, right? And we got Sky in the studio today. Jared is helping his sweetie pie handle some moving business, so we got Sky in handling business. So Sky, in my British accent, can you please cue that music, lean back? Yeah! Nyghtstorm Nation, our guest is here. Take it away, my queen. Go!
All right. Welcoming to Nyghtstorm Radio is our soon-to-be 20-year-old princess that is an accomplished musician, high school graduate, college student, working hard to be an attorney, but never forgetting her roots.
Known as my firstborn child that turned an idiot like me into a man and made me realize life is bigger than my selfish ambitions, but always growing up so I can be an example for her as to what a real man is and how she should expect for a man to be treated and treat her with respect. Let me get it right. I want y'all to understand that this is my firstborn baby. This the young lady that made me right and say I need to live right. So, ladies and gentlemen, of Nyghtstorm Nation, it is our honor, privilege, and pleasure to welcome my baby girl that's all grown up, the incredible Nyghtstorm. Yeah.
Welcome to the show, Ari. Thank you for having me.
Hey, baby.
Hi, Dad.
Okay. There we go. There's that applause. There you go. Let Scott play that a little bit longer. Okay, Scott. Okay. There. All right, now you've been introduced properly. Hey, baby.
Hey.
Okay. All right, so, sweetheart, you've heard about this fire challenge. Have you seen the video on Nyghtstorm Radio fan page on Facebook?
Yes, unfortunately, I did.
So, what do you think about this and this trend that the young people are doing right now with these Facebook challenges? I mean, tell me what was going through your mind as a 20-year-old college student looking at this foolishness.
Well, to be honest, I know that I'm always told that I've always been mature for my age. So, I mean, first I thought it was very immature because this dude, yeah, he looks, too old to be trying to do stuff like this. Second, it was just, really just stupid. Like, I hear about it many times where, like, kids, they do something dangerous, but their intentions wasn't for anybody to get hurt or for anybody to accidentally get killed or whatever, but that happens, and it's like by the time, they realize that it's too late because somebody's already really hurt, or like I said, they accidentally got killed, and, even though it wasn't their intentions for that to happen, it happened, and, it's still wrong, and it's really just sad, that, families have to lose their children over something that was really stupid that their kids thought was a game, and really it was just very dangerous to be doing something like that. And then for his mom to be right there, it makes me just question the moms of this generation as well. I guess it just, starts back of how they were raised. I don't know, but, to me, this wasn't funny at all. This is not something funny to do, lighting yourself on fire in a bathtub. He could have been killed, he could have been in the hospital. I don't know what happened to this kid after that, but it just wasn't funny to me. And I feel like, that's, I know that in the summertime, I guess kids, they get bored because they're sitting around all day. They're not in school. So, they probably get tired of watching TV or playing video games. They just want to do something, experiment with something. And to me, I just, I don't feel like none of that is a good idea. No matter what anybody says, I definitely think that, just because they say everybody else is doing it or trying it, you should still, be yourself and just realize that that's really not something to be playing around with. So that's how I feel about that.
Exactly. So that answers your first question, Tyson, of is it just you or are you the only young person that sees the stupidity in this? No, other people see the stupidity, so you're not alone. And also, going back to the mother being there filming this, this is not a time to be one of your kids' buddies, to hang out with and cheer them on when they're doing something that's totally dangerous. You don't know what this could have led to, what could have been, seriously injured on them. And I'm sure she was thinking, oh, he's just going to be on fire for a second, and he's got the water, and he's going to lay right down in there. But you don't know what's going to happen when you're on fire. He freaked out. And she's chasing him through the house saying, lay in the water, get back to the water, get back to the water. And it's like his mind is just gone at that point. And they had to literally jump on him to put the fire out.
Yeah, they did. And the crazy thing about this, ladies, is that actually when we talk about how dangerous this is, there was a case up in Buffalo, New York, about a young man who was 15 named Mr. James Shores. Now, he did this fire challenge, and unfortunately, he actually died from his injuries a short while later because he was completely engulfed by the flames, and he panicked just like the young man in the video, and all his friends thought it was funny at first. Okay, but when they saw once he fell down and he was engulfed and nobody could put him out, oh, it's not funny anymore. And
just because they use an accelerant.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you use an accelerant on your number one, why are you doing it?
Yeah.
One. But two, it was the young man in the video used alcohol. It burnt out quicker.
Mm-hmm.
But these people are using lighter fluid, any kind of flammable liquid to get this going, not thinking this through. Number one, they're not thinking because they're doing it, but not thinking it through that this is made to keep the fire going. We have barbecues for this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually, sweetheart, the police commissioner up there, Mr. Daniel Dorinda, I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly, he released a statement, and it says, "We are deeply saddened by this tragedy and offer our condolences to the family. It is paramount that the public stop sharing these videos and doing these challenges. The people who participate in this so-called game do so for the notoriety and short-lived fame they receive on the internet. Taking away this fame could deter others from making the same mistakes. Also, dying can cause you to stop making the same mistake. And young folks, y'all got to stop. And one other thing, since Tyson was so slick with it, he wanted to say, well, what were y'all doing back then? Obviously, we got this stupidness from somewhere. Well, back in our day, baby, it was kids sniffing glue. Okay? I mean, Elmer's glue. You remember that?
I definitely remember that, but no one was setting themselves on fire. I mean, the next generation is taking it to a whole different level that we're sitting back in awe, like, what in the world made you come up with this idea?
Yeah, and one kid actually said, I'm going to be the real live Human Torch. And I was seeing some of this stuff on Facebook saying that somebody dared him to put douse himself with gasoline to do the ultimate fire challenge. And he said he's going to do that. He's going to be the real Human Torch. Young man, I hope you don't do that because you're not going to make it. And I hope somebody get a hold of him and stop this foolishness. And I know we coming up with a hard break. But Ariana, Nyghtstorm, any last words you got to say to these young folks doing this stupid stuff to try to get some attention on YouTube and Facebook?
Yes, I definitely think that they should, just be themselves. They don't need to try to do something, to get people's attention because, as you can see, it's leading to, a lot of bad things. It's like it's not funny, and, this could lead to you, being in the hospital or lead to your death and everything. And it's like, even though it was intent for, this is just all fun and games and stuff, and people are going to think I'm so cool for doing this. Well, I mean, if you're in the hospital or you're dead, I mean, it's like, what was the point of it? Like, why would you risk your life, to do something like that?
Right. And there it is.
So I definitely just have that to say to them that they really need to think about that before they try these experimental things.
All right, and there it is. And we finna go to break, okay? But, folks, we got some more deep stuff to talk about. But if somebody challenging you to do the fire challenge or some of these other challenges, say, nah, we ain't gonna do it. Now, you are listening to Nyghtstorm Radio on Love 860 WAEC, Atlanta's inspirational talk radio station. And we finna get real deep with Ray Rice after the break. Holla at you on the other side. You ever been so depressed to where you want to hurt yourself because life has been unkind, unfair, and unforgivable? Folks done hurt you and thrown you away. Yeah, I know, because I was there too, until I read this book by NYGHTSTORM called All Action No Talk. This dude has been there, man. He understands us. He was homeless, abused as a child, abandoned by his dad, and even his oldest son passed away. I'm encouraged because if this dude can make it, so can I, and so can you. So check it out at Nyghtstorm.com, NYGHTSTORM, and know that you have the strength to change your life despite adversity, like him, like me, like you.
Hey, you, guy or gal that's listening,
Are you enjoying the night storms? Good. If you want the 411 on me, YG Nightstorm.
And me, Toby George Nightstorm, a.k.a. Lady Nightstorm, visit Nyghtstorm.com. That's NYGHTSTORM.com. Check out our informative blogs, videos, and see what Nyghtstorm Nation is doing to benefit the community. You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook.
Thanks again for listening to the Night Storms on Nyghtstorm Radio every Thursday at 11 a.m. to noon on Love 860 a.m. Atlanta's inspirational station. We are you.
Hi everyone, it's me, Lady Nyghtstorm, and have I got news for you. Want to know how to keep up with us and what we're doing in the community? It's easy. Just like us on Facebook at Nyghtstorm Radio. Follow us on Twitter at Nyghtstorm Radio and become part of the Nightstorm mailing list at Nyghtstorm.com. That's NYGHTSTORM. Keep up with all our promotions, contests, and latest happenings. Nyghtstorm Radio. We are you.
You are now rocking with the Night Storms on Atlanta's inspirational station, Love 860 AM WAEC. Now back to the show.
Welcome back to Nyghtstorm Radio. If you
Gia.
would like to call in and be a part of this conversation, you can reach us at 404-355-8699 in Atlanta and 1-866-923-2860 anywhere else. And we're talking to Ariana Nyghtstorm. Are you enjoying your talk so far, Ari?
Yes, I really am. I'm enjoying this conversation. I can't wait to get into the other topics.
All right.
Yeah, baby. Now, we got another Nyghtstorm letter. And Nyghtstorm Nation, I know this sounds a little bit different because the Queen is on location handling some business for our youngest son in high school. So the Queen had to take care of that. Know what I mean? But the Queen's so good, she said, I'm still going to call. Well, let me do it in her voice. I'm still going to call in and make sure you don't mess up the show. Ain't that
my voice is really that high.
Yeah, that's how I hear it sometimes. That you talk just like this, but I love it. Everything you say, baby. Go ahead, baby.
All righty. Getting to this second Nyghtstorm letter here. And it goes, Dear Nyghtstorms, I know that this is an old story, but it's come back up in the news because of football season. I saw the video of Baltimore Ravens running back Ray Rice getting off an elevator after he allegedly knocked his wife unconscious. All you see are the doors open as she falls out onto the floor, knocked out cold. People are understandably angry at him, and even ESPN's Stephen A. Smith was suspended from his job for a week after defending him. Reports were also saying that the night before this elevator incident, that the girlfriend, I'm sorry, it was his wife now, but his girlfriend then, that the girlfriend was slapping him violently while they were arguing and assaulted him, and she was just being vindictive. I did see that Mr. Rice and the young lady later got married, and she told reporters that she takes full responsibility for her part in the violence. So, knowing that both parties are admitting that they're at fault for domestic violence, I have a few questions. One, is it ever okay to hit a woman, even in self-defense? Two, if a woman keeps going back to an abusive man that keeps hitting her, does she need to take responsibility for her actions to keep putting herself in harm's way? And three, why do we have to use violence to solve everything? Whatever happened to just keeping your hands off your hands to yourself? This is from Luke in Detroit.
Wow. Okay, so Ariana, you heard the Queen talk about this and about the Ray Rice situation. What's your feelings about one? Let's say you in Las Vegas, okay? The elevator opens up, and this chick just falls to the floor, laid out cold, and her boyfriend walks out of the elevator, looking around, trying to pick her back up, but she is laid out. What are you thinking right now if you see something like that?
You said like if the boyfriend was laid out?
No, the girlfriend. She's laid out cold, just like in the Ray Rice situation. She is the elevator doors open up and she just falls to the floor, laid out, and it may be some signs that she just got hit in the face. What are you thinking?
Well, of course I'm going to look at the guy and was like, okay, what happened? Like, why is, she unconscious? What happened in the elevator? What were y'all doing? Like, did you hit her that hard or something? Like, because obviously, she probably didn't fall out from, I don't know, a medical issue, like especially if she has like a bruise on her face or something like that. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'm automatically going to jump to the guy's case. She's laid out there unconscious, when the elevator opens.
Okay, so, and sweetheart, I want you to chime in on this because now the wife did admit that maybe before that she was slapping on him, maybe more than a few times. So, is the woman just as wrong with domestic violence as a man is wrong with domestic violence?
No, we have covered this topic over and over and over and over again. Uh-huh. And I think Nyghtstorm Nation pretty much knows our point of view on this, that we feel both sexes are wrong when it comes to domestic violence. There is no reason for anyone to be putting their hands on it. I know emotion, especially with women, we get emotional. And we're, quick to want to react faster in a lot of cases than dudes are. Dudes are like, all right, chill out with that. All right, now, calm down this, unless it's something that's really, really, along the lines of being unfaithful, catching the other person cheating or something like that. Usually, in most cases, they try to calm you down until they just can't take it anymore, and then they would react. But, of course, I feel like in any domestic violence situation, as we said before on previous shows, that the best alternative is to walk away because you're not solving anything in your anger. You're not getting to the root of the problem. The best thing to do is to try to step away from the situation and calm down and discuss it. And we know in a lot of times that's not the case. But in either case, whomever was hitting who, I mean, you can take it all the way back to when we had the big blow-up with Rihanna and Chris Brown. Uh-huh. They were all over Chris because of the bruises to her. And then we found out later that she was hitting him also. So everybody is wrong, and everybody should keep your hands to yourself. And if this isn't a person that you can be in a relationship with without putting your hands on them, then the relationship should end.
Right.
In most cases.
Okay, and I want to get back to Luke's point when he asked, is it ever okay to hit a woman, even in self-defense? And the reason why I'm bringing this up, sweetheart, we've talked about this at home, and Ariana, this is going to be the first time you've heard this, but I have a friend of mine who was in a store. Let's say it was a convenience store, him and his wife. They minding their own business. He's on one aisle looking for Snicker bars or whatever, and she's standing in line ready to pay for her soda. When a violent female, they obviously had some kind of altercation, the wife and this female. The female grabs the wife by the back of her hair, slams her to the ground, and proceeds to start beating on her, hopped on top of her, and started beating on her right there in the store. Now, my friend comes quickly to protect his wife, and he cold cocks the young lady who's on top of his wife, knocking her out and pushing her away from his wife. Then he immediately starts tending to his wife, who has been beaten, and she's bruised, and there's blood all over the place. When the police got there, the police only arrested him and said that he had absolutely no right to defend his wife against a female attacker, that it would have been better if he just allowed the woman to abuse and assault his wife. Now, ladies, y'all know how I feel about this, because anybody put their hands on my queen or my children, I don't care if you got a Y chromosome or an X chromosome, I am going to eliminate the threat expeditiously. You are going to see a 300-pound man in a way you don't want to see me. And I don't care if you wearing pants, if you got a skirt on, you wearing Nikes, you wearing high heels. I don't care. You don't put your hands on my wife or my children. So, and I don't care what society says. And I know some folks going to say, there's no reason for you to even hit a chick who's attacking the queen. Well, I don't care.
I think that what the police was trying to say was, he could have restrained her without knocking her out.
Really?
You know?
This chick is on top of his wife,
saying.
beating his wife to a pulp, and there is sometimes ain't no restraining. Police don't use restraining. Sometimes they just shoot you first.
That's true.
Okay.
Pushing the chokehold, that's all in the news.
Eliminate the threat without you being harmed. And he ain't thinking about, well, maybe I need to restrain this chick because I don't want to hurt her while she pummels my wife to unconsciousness. He's not thinking about that. He's thinking about, I'm finna get this chick off my wife, and I'm finna save my wife's life. That's what I'm finna do. So, Ariana, what do you think about this? You know, is he wrong to be defending his wife, and he's the only one to get arrested?
I definitely don't think he's wrong, but I definitely think it was wrong that he was, you know, the only one to get arrested. I mean, of course, the woman that was assaulting his wife, she definitely should have been arrested. She shouldn't have just, you know, got a slap on the wrist just because she's a woman. But, I mean, like I said, like you just said, like in that moment, you're not thinking about, I'm trying to restrain her because she's hurting my wife. You're just like, I'm trying to get, you know, this woman off my wife. Like, you know, she's, like, beating her unconscious and stuff like that. Like, you know, and, you know, you love your wife and stuff, and you want to protect her. It's your job to protect her. So it's like, yeah, that's just totally wrong for, you know, them to arrest him and say that he should have never did what he did. You know, I definitely think, you know, yes, he did have the right. That's his wife. He's supposed to be her protector, and, you know, against anybody. Like, it doesn't matter who it is. He shouldn't just allow that to happen to his wife. So I definitely think that was just totally wrong.
If a man just allows somebody, male or female, to just walk up and beat the living crap out of his wife, he don't love his wife. Period. You know, as men and as husbands, our first job is to not only provide for our wife and children, but to protect our wife and children from all harm, foreign and domestic, male, female, black, white, Jew, Gentile, gay, straight, fat, skinny, ugly, pretty, short, tall, alive, or supernatural. It don't matter. You protect your wife. So, but the police said that the young lady was not responsible for her actions because she was clearly upset about something. So that's why she attacked the wife, and that's why they don't hold her responsible for her actions, which is silly to me. But moving on to Luke's next question. If a woman keeps going back to an abuse, I'm not going to say a woman. If a person keeps going back to an abusive spouse or a boyfriend or a girlfriend that keeps hitting them, does that person need to take responsibility of their actions for keep putting themselves in harm's way?
You want me to speak on this? Or?
Go ahead, baby. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, first of all, let me hop back to the first question about the husband protecting the wife.
Yeah.
I'm going to play devil's advocate and spin it from both sides so we can get a complete view. That's what we do here. But, of course, I agree with the husband protecting his wife. Now, as far as the abuse part, if she continues to go back or he continues to go back, there is something going on there within that person. Mm-hmm. Either they feel like they need this person in their life and they need counseling for that, for something that they have going on within themselves that, you know, is rooted from childhood probably, or they are knowingly antagonizing a person and knowing that they are wrong and they see that they have done something. But either way, there needs to be some professional help here. There needs to be some counseling here. There needs to be a separation of sorts. Totally, you know, to get yourself together or moving on. As I said before, we need to, yes, number one, take responsibility for our actions.
Right.
We've said it in previous shows. If you and I, you know, YG, are having an argument and you're 95% wrong, I'm 5% wrong, or I'm 95% wrong and you're 5% wrong.
Which rarely happens, by the way. I'm always 95% wrong, baby.
No, but the point is you have to take 100% responsibility for your part in it.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, there's something, there's very rarely an occasion when somebody is totally right and somebody is totally wrong. There's always, you could have said this a better way. You could have presented this a different way to me. You could have came at me in a different way to avoid a conflict from even happening. And, you know, thinking before we act without letting emotion be involved in it. So if I keep going back to a man that's abusing me, is it because, one, I have low self-esteem? Two, I feel like I have nobody else but him, you know, for me in this world. You know, three, I know that I am doing X, Y, Z that ticks him off, and I know doing this is going to cause him to react in a certain way, and I keep doing it. Mm-hmm. Why do I keep doing it? So, I mean, there's more than just black and white. It's 50 shades of gray. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a lot of cases is, you know, a lot of times it's time to move on from that person, that relationship. It could be a person that they have absolutely no reason. They just see you and they know you can't defend yourself, and they could get the upper hand on you, and they just enjoy beating you.
Right.
That's the person you need to be getting away from.
Yeah, and I agree.
You don't
with
need
that.
to be recognize the red flags and get out of there.
I agree with that.
Point blank.
I agree with that 100% because I already told you about that chick that used to put her hands on me before I met you, and I had to step away from her. I'm like, look here, if you hit me one more time, girl, one more time, I swear to the baby Jesus, I ain't even going to finish that statement. But anyway, I moved on, and that's why I got all of my beautiful children, and I got my wonderful wife, and my life is fine. All right, now we coming up with another heartbreak, but his last question was, why do we have to use violence to solve anything, and whatever happened to keeping your hands to yourself? And Ariana can testify that we have raised all 7 of our children to keep your hands off of other people, and if you gonna hit somebody, expect to get hit back. Am I right, Ariana?
Yes, you are so right.
Does that sentiment still apply to the day, even though you're a grown woman and you ain't even in my house no more?
Yeah, it really does. Because I definitely think that regardless the man or the woman, like, you should still take responsibility of your actions. Like, because I know that a lot of women, they try to, you know, so they know the system is basically always going to be on their side. So sometimes they will try to use that to their advantage and, you know, basically say that, okay, it's all the man's fault, and, you know, or try to even make up a lie because they know that the system is going to believe her word over the man's word. And I just totally don't think that's right. I'm not trying to say that, okay, I'm just a traitor to the female race or anything like that. I'm definitely just saying that, you know, as people period, like, of course, there's always two sides to a story. And obviously, you know, especially if you actually put your hands on them as well, you definitely should take responsibility of your actions. And, you know, it shouldn't just, you know, get looked over just because, you know, she's a woman.
Wow. Well, baby, our baby said that.
Very well said. Very well said. Is something going on? Why are you wanting to bait somebody? And that goes either way. What's going on with you while you want to bait somebody? Or what's going on that you want to stay with someone that's abusing you?
Yeah.
It's not just the other person. It's you, too. Why are you continuing to stay there?
Yeah, and go on and take us to break, baby, because y'all done broke it down. I ain't got nothing else to say on that.
All right, you are listening to Nyghtstorm Radio right here on Love 860 AM, Atlanta Inspirational Talk Radio Station. We'll be right back after the break.
To all event planners, are you worried that your next corporate get-together is going to be boring?
Then invite the Nyghtstorms to speak at your next event and electrify your organization as we break down how to grow your business, fix broken relationships, and conquer life challenges.
So make your next event epic. Invite me and the Queen to rock the house with inspirational techniques designed to empower individuals and maximize their true potential.
And thanks for listening to Nyghtstorm Radio on Love 860 AM WAEC, Atlanta's inspirational station.
We are you.
This is Toby George Nyghtstorm, a.k.a. Lady Nyghtstorm, and I'm known as the woman not afraid to tell the truth about how things really are. And the truth I have to say to you is you should listen to Nyghtstorm Radio every Thursday from 11 to noon. And you should also like us on Facebook at Nyghtstorm Radio. Follow us on Twitter at Nyghtstorm Radio. And join the Nyghtstorm Nation mailing list on Nyghtstorm.com. That's NYGHTSTORM.com. Nyghtstorm Radio on Love 860 AM WAEC, Atlanta's inspirational talk radio station. We are you.
This is YG Nyghtstorm. And why should you listen to Nyghtstorm Radio? Because we relate to you or someone you know with topics taken directly from our lives. Every time you tune in, you'll hear a discussion about real subjects that affect real life. Why? Because me and the Queen have been there. So join us right here every Thursday morning from 11 to noon on Love 860 AM WAEC, Atlanta's inspirational talk radio station. Nyghtstorm Radio. We are you.
Hello, Nyghtstorm Nation. This is Toby George Nyghtstorm, a.k.a. Lady Nyghtstorm, and I have a question for you. How much are you spending each day on lunch? $6, $7, $10 even? Do you know that for less than what you spend each week on lunch, you can advertise your business or service right here during the show on Nyghtstorm Radio? Why don't you inbox us on Facebook, send us a message on Twitter, or drop us a line at Nyghtstorm.com. Let us show you how you can get your business or service out in front of the people. Now back to the show.
We are back. You are listening to Nyghtstorm Radio with the Nyghtstorms right here on Love 860 WAEC, Atlanta's inspirational talk radio station. And let me tell you how special the show is today. The Queen is on location handling business for our 16-year-old and his high school things that's going on. But she still got so much love for the show. She said, baby, I'm going to call in and I'm going to make sure you're doing everything right. And also, we got our princess, Ariana Nyghtstorm, handling her business, talking some real talk about these issues. Hey, ladies.
Hi.
Hey.
All right. Now, we've been getting deep, and we got one more Nyghtstorm letter. So, please read this letter, please.
Yes, go right ahead, Mr. Nyghtstorm.
See, I got to get permission, with everything, whether we on there or at home. I better get permission
Lord, would
to
you
do
please
anything.
stop
And if I
it?
don't,
No,
I'm gonna get handled. Just playing. All right, it goes. Dear Nyghtstorms, I'm tired of females always getting blamed for everything. Since when is it our fault that our men of the 21st century have no backbone? My nephew is 16 years old, and my sister has done everything she can to teach him ethics and the value of humility. But unfortunately, my brother-in-law just doesn't get how the real world works and operates. Case in point, this man just bought my nephew a $120,000 2012 Porsche for his 16th birthday. This is idiotic because no kid with limited driving experience should ever be behind the wheel of a supercar on public roads. He is a danger to himself and others, but I'm also upset about something else. This car was not good enough for my nephew because he whined that his friend got a $168,000 2014 Porsche 911 Turbo for his birthday. And he feels that his lowly 2012 Porsche was not good enough. But my brother-in-law said that we have to spoil him because I'm afraid of our child being mad at us. The worst part is that their brat, her nephew, she mad, y'all. Her brat says that my sister, his mother, is too mean and that everything is always her fault because she tells him no. What do you guys think about the madness of this entitlement generation? And that is from Taylor from Hawaii. Woo! Okay. All right, now, I understand this. We've seen this before. And for this young man to be 16 years old, he's getting a $120,000 2012 Porsche for his birthday with limited driving experience. This is a supercar. But he's mad the 2012 ain't good enough because his friend's dad bought him a 2014 $168,000 Porsche. So the 2012 ain't good enough. I think that's some case of spoiled bratness, entitlement, and the daddy just might need to learn how to tell Junior no. What you think, ladies?
I think it's interesting because you usually have the mom. The role is like a role reversal here. Usually the dads are saying no, and the mom's like, "Oh, come on, give it to him."
Yeah.
But just like in our first story, with the young man setting fire to himself, it seems like we're back on this parent not being a parent, and parent wants to be a friend. But in the end, who is it hurting?
Right.
When it's all said and done, what values, what lessons, what character building traits, what integrity, what, citizenship, what are we teaching our children to be?
Right.
And what are they going to grow up to take out into the world? And how are they going to, view life? Is it going to be through reality of how things really are? And then when they get that first no out in the real world, how are they going to react to it? Does your boss just mean? You know what I'm saying? Because you wanted that raise, but you're not qualified for it, or you wanted that position. It's going to play into so many different parts of life. And then what goes around comes around. And usually when you have a child that's a certain way, they get it back when their children come. And it's just this spiral going around that is going to get out of control. And in some cases, this entitlement can cause them to go to prison. We had that affluenza case.
Yeah.
Last year, the young man who committed all these crimes and said, you can't blame me. My parents are rich. So
yeah,
I don't live by the same rules.
He actually ran people over in his car. He killed several people because he was drunk driving at 16. And he had friends in the truck with him. And he said, well, I'm not responsible for all these deaths because I'm rich. I
mean, I understand as parents, you want to provide for your children. You want them to have better, we had the struggle coming up, and we heard no a lot because the revenue was not there to provide certain things. And we are guilty of spoiling our kids a little bit too.
Who, us?
But us. We do things, and especially for the baby of the family, she gets a lot more than the oldest ones got, and they tell us about ourselves on time. But
Ariana, do y'all tell us about ourselves? I mean, what do you think about this case? About this kid being mad because his daddy only bought him a $120,000 2012 Porsche, and he's mad because his friend got a 2014 $168,000 Porsche. And did I spoil you? You better answer right.
You can't be doing the subliminal talking.
You better answer right, girl.
Well, yeah, I know I'm a girl, and so usually the girls, they get spoiled more than, the sons and stuff would. So, you spoiled me, but it's never been to the point where I've gotten to be a brat or anything like that. But I definitely know that, people who grow up, being rich and wealthy, whatever, they're privileged to, have everything handed to them, but at the same time, they also... sometimes they don't probably, get taught, what to, how you're really supposed to work for something and earn something, and to be grateful for what you do have. Even if something is handed to you, you should be definitely grateful because that doesn't really happen to a lot of people. I mean, basically, they're living in this bubble where it's like, okay, everything, I get to always get my way. I get to get anything that I want. But a lot of people, they have to, work for that. And they struggle to get their kids really just, basically, you need the needs before the wants. So most parents, they struggle even to get their kids' needs, and they try their best to, get their wants. And if it can happen every, now and then, that makes them feel happy. But, sometimes it bothers the parents when they can't do so well. So I feel like if you have parents that are able to do that, regardless of what it is, if you ask for something, if they give it to you, you should be grateful for it, and, you shouldn't just take it for granted and be like, well, I'm tired of this now. I want something better. I want something more expensive. I definitely think that's, their parents have definitely spoiled them, like, way too much where they can't even be grateful. Like, I know that if, when I was 16, I know that I would have been so happy and grateful getting, $120,000 Porsche. Like, I wouldn't have asked for anything bigger than that because that's already a lot of money right there, and that's a really nice car. And, it's like, it's my 16th birthday. Like, this is a really nice car, and it's not like an old car that's like, almost 10 years old and stuff like that. Like, it's basically still a brand new car. I would be so happy and just, settle with that. That's, only speaking that I'm not such a needy person, always wanted something. I'm grateful for anything that, my parents or anybody in my family, gets for me. So, I definitely, just speaking from experience that we've, all struggled growing up, as far as our family, like literally struggling from the bottom, coming on up, to the top and everything.
Right.
We know what it feels like, to, struggle not having enough money to like buy things that we want to take us any places that we would, like to go. Like, we actually know that from experience, but these other kids that, get everything handed to them, they don't know. And therefore, I don't know. They need to get taught something because it's going to get worse. They need to know in real life that you don't just get handed everything. You have to work for it.
Wow. Wow. See, out of the mouths of babes, she ain't a baby no more. She grown. And, sweetheart, you answered that excellently. And we have been talking about some real deep, hurtful things. We've talked about the Ray Rice situation, and we talked about the Facebook challenges and kids setting themselves on fire. And now we've talked about young kids who are entitled and don't really appreciate what's been given to them, and parents may need to say no. But a lot of this adversity can be handled with a single word. You know what I mean, ladies?
Exactly.
And that word is love. And Sky, if you can turn that music up just a little bit. There you go. And I want to say this has been a joy, and we have reached the love shout-outs of our program, where Nyghtstorm Nation gets to express their love to each other, to that special person. Who you got over there, Toby, sending out some Nyghtstorm love shout-outs?
That's right. Our first shout-out is coming from Anderson. He wants to tell the Nyghtstorm Nation that he is celebrating 25 years of marriage to Jenny.
Awesome, Anderson. And Maxine sends her love to Thaddeus because he just proposed and she happily said yes. That's good stuff, brother. That's good stuff, man.
All right. Ariana, do you have anybody you want to give a love shout-out to?
Well, I just want to give a shout-out to my parents. You all, I understand you raised me right and helped me to be able to take responsibility for my actions. So it definitely, starts at home about what your parents teach you. So I'm definitely just thankful to have, parents like you that are actually teaching me how the real world works and not just spoiling me or, trying to beat around the bush. Like, y'all keep it real with me, and that's what we need to hear because if we don't learn from y'all, we're going to learn the hard way, and usually that's not a good route to go.
Wow.
So I'm just thankful for y'all.
Wow, awesome.
Thank you. Wow. I want to say especially thank you for that from the stepmom point of view. Because we're a blended family, and it's really nice to hear that. So thank you. And shouts out to Tarika, mom on deck. I want to give my shout out to her too. And I want to shout out to you, YG.
Yes.
Thank you for being a exceptional dad. there for yours and mine and ours, and the neighborhood kids that call you Pop, and everybody else's child who just look at you and go, ooh, I want a dad like that, and you just let them fall in line. So thank you for being that type of father, and that strict, that disciplinarian that gets in our kids' behinds when they need it, but also cheer them on and encourage them and tell them that they love them along, with that, keep that balance. Thank you for being a great husband, a great support system, a great cheerleader. We love and adore you.
All right. Thank you, baby. And that was nice. And and Scott said, we got 2 minutes. All this love, we got 2 minutes. Okay, but thank you, sweetheart, my queen, for being my life, my air, my breath, my everything. God has blessed me, and I know God loves me because he blessed me with you, to our daughter, Ariana Nyghtstorm, the rest of our children. You make this man proud. And Sky, pull that microphone up for a second, man. Sky is coming in, and he is taking over the reins of Jared for the day. And Sky, I want to send a special Nyghtstorm love shout out to you, sir. Thank you for stepping in and handling this show and making us sound good. You got any love shout outs yourself, sir?
It's my pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
My pleasure. Yeah, I've got 3 daughters myself, and I love each one of them just like you guys love your children. And I've enjoyed watching your show and listening to your show today. It's awesome.
That's good stuff, Scott. Thank you. And sweetheart, go on and take us on out, baby.
All right. And as always, I want to say thank you, Nyghtstorm Nation listeners. If it wasn't for you and your love and your support, we would not be here. And remember, you can send your special love shout-out message to Nyghtstorm Radio on Facebook and Twitter, or Nyghtstorm.com. We're there at Nyghtstorm Radio. And we will be sure to make sure that person knows that you're thinking about them. We also want to thank our Nyghtstorm Nation members, Tyson, Luke, and Taylor, for our wonderful letters. And a big thank you to our esteemed guest today, Miss Ariana Nyghtstorm. Thank you so much for joining the show, my dear. And until next time, Nyghtstorm Nation, this has been Nyghtstorm Radio on Love 860 AM. Being here for you. I want you to be safe. Have a great week. Until next week, because
we are you. God bless.